Okay, there we go. Good morning, Facebook and YouTube friends and family.
Good morning. We're so excited. This week, we're going to do some like beginner financial 101 for you.
Exactly. So in today's video, we want to give you guys a start, right? We want to go over what percents look like and what investing or starting to invest looks like for you. Okay.
Yeah. And just, legal stuff. We are not financial advisors. Okay.
Yep.
So we are just two very lay people who did not, and I said did not do what we were supposed to up until a few years ago as far as investing and stuff. So we're just taking from our own experiences. And, as always, if you have very specific questions about your financial situation, every single person is different. You want to consult a financial advisor or a tax person, whatever the genre is, because we are just two busy moms, right? And we're just sharing our experiences with you.
Exactly. So this is not financial advice. We just want you to live vicariously through our mistakes or the lessons that we've learned along the way.
Yep. So I want to tell a little bit of a story. Is that okay, Christina?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't been watching the show, I've been in the home-based business industry for over 2 decades. And here's what I have been very good at. I have been very good at making money. Here's what I've been very bad at up until a few years ago: keeping the money that I made. Okay. So really good at making the money, not at all. Like I would give myself a negative, not even a 0. Right. So the other thing I was really good at was I would make money and I would reinvest my profits into the business. So that's good. That was a good thing that I've always done. I've always done those things. But what I wasn't doing up until a few years ago was taking any of my income, right? Any of it from anything I was doing and putting it into investing and or even saving it, really. Right. I mean, we don't want to be huge savers, but we still want to have like those, what we were talking about last week, emergency funds and things like that. And also putting those funds into like something that can earn some interest and keep up with inflation. You want to just stick it in your regular savings account, and that's advanced for another time. But I think today we just want to talk about starting, because if we wanted to go advanced, we could map out like 15 buckets of percentages, that we need to go through. I did a video on just kind of a beginner video this week on TikTok about living off 50%, having 30% for entertainment and travel, and putting 20% in investing. That's just a starter thing. I mean, obviously we want to get where we are maybe not only spending maybe 10 or 15% on leisure and getting more into the investment fund and savings fund. But we have to, if you're starting from scratch, right from scratch, and you're like, you got to take baby steps. Okay. And so I think the first thing that you want to do is just decide you're going to start today, or with this week's paycheck, or with your next sale, if you have a small business, and you're going to take a percentage. I don't care if it's 1%. Just pick a percentage for yourself. It's not what the gurus are going to tell you, oh, it should be this percent. And another guru will tell you, well, no, it should be this percent. This is about getting into the habit first,
right, of doing it,
right? Picking a percentage that you're going to invest. Even if it ends up being $5, there are places you can start investing $5. Is investing $5 every 2 weeks going to make you rich or give you retirement money? It actually depends on how old you are when you start, but it's not about that at first. It's just about getting into the habit of doing it. Would you agree, Christina, with that?
Yeah, of course, because you want to create those good habits that you can build upon later. You're not building the habit of investing $100 every week. No, you're building on the habit of just investing every week, right? And you can start to change what that monetary value looks like in that investment over time, but you'll at least have the good rhythm already started. Now, like,
do you think it opens doors to like just getting into that mindset? All of a sudden you start to see things and learn things you never saw or learned before.
I know for me, I did, like, just starting to look at like we talked about last week, risk to reward, those conversations. Now, because I invest, I actually spend my frivolous spending has went down. because I have those risk to reward conversations in my head. Well, instead of buying that, maybe I should just throw the extra $20 in there. Like I don't really need it. Since I don't need it, it is what it is. I'll just put it in my investment account. And then you start to see that snowball effect trickling down, because you have that investor mindset. You have that rhythm of doing things when it's better for you, right? So I do like that. You build that good habit and it starts to change the way you look at everything else.
Yeah, and you could just even use an investment calculator and plug that amount in. Let's just say $20, $10, $150 that you're going to spend on something for the weekend, right? Weekend getaway for $250. We're not saying don't do those things. Just
right.
Just like evaluate them with a mindset of, if you put that $250 into an investment calculator, and let's just say you put in that you can earn an average of 7% a year. What is that amount going to be in 10 years from now? Right. So I'm just going to make this up because I'm not doing the math in my head over 10 years, but let's just say you could double your money in 10 years by putting it into investment. So now what you really need to say is this trip I'm taking this weekend worth $500 I'll never see again? Right. Not $250, right? Or that $10 might turn into $22.50. Is that pair of those fancy shoelaces that my kid wants for $10 instead of $3, is it really worth $22.50? And you start to, when you just start to like look at these things, like Christina said, you start to have conversations. It's not that you don't make the purchases. Right. It's just that you don't make all of them anymore because you're like, that's not worth it to me.
Right. So we're not saying don't go on your family vacations and things like that. But what we are saying is maybe instead of taking so many trips throughout the year, you take a nicer trip later on after you've met your investment goals that you set.
Right. So let's say you decided to, put 5% away every paycheck, and your paycheck for the week after taxes was $500, right? So that means you're putting away, what would that be? $25. Mm-hmm. And you're putting it into an investment account, and you're just doing that consistently. Now, another way that you can do it, if that's just like too much math for you.
Yeah.
But there's another way. Go ahead.
Yeah, you could definitely like take inventory of what's going on in your household. Take out that bank statement, print it out, right? Grab those credit card statements, print them out, and just highlight everything that's been a purchase that was a want, that wasn't necessary, right? And when you come up with that total, what you might want to do is cut the total in half and then invest half of what you typically spend on your wants. So every time I go to the gas station, y'all know about me and my turtles. I won't buy 5 turtles. I get 2, right? Every time I go to the grocery store, I might not get the extra snacks, right? I might just make sure that I'm getting stuff for full meals. So we have leftovers. Instead of snacking, we eat, right? Or just like Christy said, instead of getting the expensive shoelaces, we might get the not expensive ones for now, right? Maybe it's something
that's key right there. It's for now.
Yep. Right.
For now.
Because you want to set yourself up to be in a position where you can purchase the things that you want. But if you aren't in that situation right now, I'm not going to say don't make your situation worse, but I am going to say start to dig yourself out of the hole, right? Start to do things to get into those good habits, to build that income stream, to build that cushion that you want so that you can live the way that you want to later on. And like we said, like if you're investing and you're younger, you're going to have a easier journey, right? If you're investing and you're a little older, you might need to be more aggressive. And at the end of the day, you kind of want to be in love with the results of what you get from the process or from creating the good habits. It's a slow roll. When you're creating a new habit, you have to give yourself time, but it's definitely something to think about. Okay.
And I know that some of you who are watching who might be a little more further along in your journey, like, but what about creating assets to pay my bills? What about creating passive income? We're going to get to that stuff, but not today, because today it's just about making one little shift I don't even want to call it a change. You know why I don't like to call these things changes? Because people don't like change and they're resistant to it. So you're just making a little shift, right? A little growth shift, right? That's all it is. One small shift. That's just starting point. That's all we're really discussing today. If you're in that situation like I was, and it just was stupid, really good at making money. I know that's not a bad problem to have. Like I've always been able to be home for a long time and make money from home, but I probably, could have just been completely retired right now at 48 if I would have done these things when I started doing, I started home business when I was like 18, but like when I was 26, I got serious about it. So let's say I started at 26, that's like 22 years that I could have been growing my money. And I might have been to a point now where I wouldn't be doing this show today. No, I'd probably still be doing it. I keep telling everybody, like, retirement for me probably isn't going to happen in full. If you think about retirement as you don't need to make money anymore, sure. But like, I don't know. I've got that thing where I always got to be doing some kind of like stuff.
I don't want to be bored.
Right. Like, maybe it'll shift
something to do.
Yeah. More charitable things and stuff like that. And we already do some charitable things, but maybe it'll shift more into that,
right.
I don't know.
Like, and for me, I did learn to invest later on in life. Right. And when I did, it was a 401k. And now going through everything that I know, I probably wouldn't have did that because there are different investment vehicles that I feel would be more suitable for my style of investing. But investing in the beginning we're not telling you to like throw away your spending budget. We're just saying take a little percentage out of it and kick it over to the other side so that it can start working for you a little bit more. So that you can get in the habit of it. And I actually love the risk to reward conversations that I have because I feel so bad telling y'all this, but the position that I had before I left my job, I had my check plus commission, right? And the amount of money that I used to make in my commission was specifically dedicated to me shopping. Very regretful now. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I remember you telling me this story months ago.
Like I used to, me and my son once a month, like I wouldn't use both of my commission checks, but once a month, we would just go shop and eat. And now it's not a bad thing, but I probably would have cut that budget in half because I was spending a nice chunk of money every month. Just whatever, Kevin, let's go to the like he loves California Pizza Kitchen. They have like artisanal pizzas. And it's just a thing, like maybe we wouldn't have did that so frequently. Maybe we would have started making our things at home, And it's like we said, we're not telling you to stop doing the things because, I know for you ladies, retail therapy is a thing. But instead of getting 2 pairs of shoes, consider getting 1. Okay. And I know some of you guys in these new briefcases and these crazy wallets, because I've seen some of and they're very nice. But you might want to, just shift a little bit of the money over and maybe hit that goal and reward yourself.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Have it as in line.
Yep. Yeah, have it be a reward for a job well done. Mm-hmm. Pat yourself on the back because, you should reward yourself. We're human beings. We still need those things that stimulate the different kind of chemicals in our body and to our brain and things like that. But yeah, it's just making small shifts.
Yep.
In what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a very short topic today. Like we could go on and on, but we probably start boring you because I could tell you story after story of where I screwed up, and came to my senses a couple of years ago. Even like today, we're doing the free wealth and asset protection summit today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. What would have happened in the past? I probably would watch it, but not implement anything. Like it's not because I didn't. Some of you who are watching may not know things. I knew things. I started reading books on money when I was like under the age of 18. So it wasn't that I wasn't educated. I can't even blame it on that. Like a lot of people say, well, I didn't learn this in school. We did learn a few things in our school. It wasn't anything major. They had classes on banking and budgeting that we had that required to take at my high school. So, but not really, there's nothing investing wise, but I was super, there's a book called Super Self. And that's the first book that I ever read that I would consider like a personal development book. So it's old. And there's a lot of information there, like never buy a brand new car. But it explains why you should never buy a brand new car and what you should buy. And so I had the knowledge and just did not apply it. So you've heard us say this, it's applied knowledge that makes changes and growth in your life, not knowledge itself. Because I still just didn't do the things that I knew I should do. I knew that, and Jason, my husband, and I just had this conversation about our little one. One of the best things that you can teach your kids is, okay, I give him a chore, I gave him a chore he can do to make money. So $10, let's just say $10. But the best things I can do is pay him in 10 singles and get 3 envelopes and show him put $1 in investing, $1 in the savings envelope, and $1 in charity. I learned that from that book, Super Self, back when I was 18 years old. But I didn't apply it, nor did I teach my older children who are grown now that principle. Why teach the kid that? Because now he has $7 left over to spend. Yeah. I know somebody, I'm not going to say who made their children put 100% of their birthday money into the bank. Every Christmas. They didn't get to keep any of it. Well, I'm teaching them to save. No, not really, because it's not a sustainable habit. Or do you put 100% of your paycheck into your savings account every time you get paid? Right. Well, no. So it's not a sustainable habit, but teaching them charity, saving, investing, 10, 10, 10. So I learned that and that's just one strategy, right? That's a strategy I learned when I was 18, did not apply it, did not teach it to my children. And so we decided to teach it to Jason Jr. now because it's something it's sustainable as he goes into adult life, right? That 10, 10, 10 and still having 70% left over, right? And then he can adjust it as it goes, or as he grows, right? His money, or he gets his own development in finances and things like that. So, it's applied knowledge. So like this week, doing this summit, this will be information that we will take, and my husband and I, we will apply it. There'll be things I know already, but there'll be things that I don't know. Either way, it needs to be applied in order for it to work.
Oh, awesome. So it did show up. I didn't know if the whole thing.
Oh, I was like, what are you lying about? There we go.
So do us a favor. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pips for Brunch newsletter so that you guys can get access to some of the other hints and tips that we will be providing that are not on the show, because we do dive a little bit deeper inside of the newsletter. Okay.
Yeah, we share, sometimes we share free PDFs, we share other tools, both free and paid, that we use, all kinds of goodies in the newsletter.
Exactly. Now, as always, if you guys did find some value in today's show, go ahead and share the information with your friends and family. They might need to know this information too. Maybe you have kids or grandkids who are just starting their first little jobs and things like that, and they could benefit from having some of this information. So don't forget to go ahead and share the content. If you are looking at us in the replay on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, share. We do definitely appreciate it. But that is going to wrap us up for today.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for being with us this morning or later. If you're here on YouTube, we appreciate every single one of our viewers.
Right. You guys have an awesome and productive day, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.